we've got a grouped frequency table. In this case it's the discrete data, and we're going to work out or write down the modal class, and we're going to calculate an estimate for the mean. So I asked ... students how many pens they had in their pencil case. The responses are represented using the grouped frequency table below. So grouped frequency table mean how many numbers in the data set fall within a certain group. So this is the group 0 to 3 pens. So if you had no pens in your pencil case, or 1 or 2 or 3, then you go into this group. So 10 people fell in that group. So we don't actually know how many pens they had, but we know that they either had 0, 1, 2 or 3. It's discrete data because you can't have half a pen. However much you chew it, it will still be either a whole pen or not a pen at all if you really chew it. Right, so the first thing is to work out the how many. So the how many is the frequency. So 10 students had between 0 and 3, 6 had between 4 and 6, 2 had between 7 and 9, and 1 had between 10 and 11. So the total number of students, 10 plus 6 is 16, 17, 18, 19 is the total frequency. So that means there's 19 students here. Right, so now to write down the modal class, so modal, think mode, and for the classes, think group. Class means group. So basically, which group had the most, highest frequency, which group had the most people in it, and the highest frequency is this 10, and that means, as you would expect actually, most people had 0 to 3 pens. So the modal class is just 0 to 3. You can put pens, but I wouldn't have thought that would make a difference for a mark unless they really asked for it. Now for number 2, for an estimate of the mean. Now this keyword estimate is always the case when you group data, and the reason why it's an estimate is because you don't actually know. For these 10 people, you don't actually know how many pens they had. They could have all had 3 pens, they could have all had no pens, or, as is probably more likely, some of them had 0, some of them had 1, some of them had 2, some of them had 3. But the point is that you don't know. So all you can really do is your best guess, and what you do, you assume that they all had the halfway value. So the halfway value of any two numbers, you add them up and divide by 2. So 0 to 3, 0 plus 3 is 3. 3 divided by 2 is 1.5. So we're going to call this midpoint. And we're going to assume that everybody in this group had 1.5 pens. So 1.5. 4 plus 6 is 10. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 7 plus 9 is 16. 16 divided by 2 is 8. 10 plus 11 is 21. 21 divided by 2 is 10.5. So midpoint. Now I know I've built this as non-calculate. It's really just sort of a more longhand method. Probably will end up using a calculator. So what you're going to do now, you're going to do midpoint times frequency, MP times F. So basically you're going to do 10 times 1.5, so you're going to estimate the number of pens that this group had. So 10 times 1.5 is 15. So your best guess is that these 10 people had 15 pens between them. It is only an estimate based on midpoints. 6 5s are 30. Halfway between 4 and 6 is, 6 5s are 30. 2 8s are 16. And 1 times 10.5 is 10.5. So what you need now, remember this is estimate for the number of pens. For the mean, it's the number of pens divided by the number of people. So we know it's going to be something divided by 19 because there's 19 people. The something is that what's the estimate of the total number of pens. So 15 plus 30 is 45. 45 plus 16 is 51. 61. 61 plus 10.5 is 71.5. So 71.5 divided by 19, I am going to have to cheat for that. 3.76315 it goes on. So we're going to round that to 3 significant figures, which is 3.76 pence. So the mean, according to this data, the estimate of the mean is 3.73 pence. 2 3 significant figures.